Peace to the gods, peace to the earths,
peace, gods,
and all
peace,
of the righteous families. Assalamu alaikum. I'm here with one of my brothers today. Brother I've been meaning to get up with for a minute.
Yes, sir.
You know,
yes,
and
sir.
kept missing each other.
Yes, sir.
You know,
yes,
so,
sir.
you know, I'm out here today in beautiful Atlanta. You know, this weekend is All-Star Weekend.
Yes,
you
sir.
know, the
yes,
NBA
sir.
All-Star Game is popping off today.
Did you get around anything?
Nah, I didn't, you know, at least not yet.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? But, you know, inshallah, maybe later on, I might ride downtown and see what's jumping off.
That's what you came in town for?
Well, no, that's what I was going to say. Actually, I came out here for other business, but since it is All-Star Weekend, I said, you know, let me get around and meet with some of the guards and Bill, you know, that I wasn't able to get up with, you know, online.
Yes, sir.
You know,
yes,
so, but before we begin building, brother, tell everybody your name, you know, and where you from.
Yes, sir. Peace, family. My name is Benson X. People know me on Facebook to be building, posting up videos and the knowledge. My page is, you know, Benny Blacko, Ben Blaq with a CK, Ben Blaq with a Q.
Yeah.
You know, because they always throw me in Facebook jail. So I got to have little house arrest pages, so to speak.
Yes, sir.
You know.
Backup pages.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
That's pretty much it, man. My place that I call home is the DMV area, Northern Virginia.
Okay.
But I'm here in Georgia now. Muhammad's Mosque number 15 is where I'm out of.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So you're registered in the Nation of Islam.
Yes, sir. Yes, I am.
Oh, okay. When did you first, you know, get knowledge of self and come in contact with the information?
So I came into the knowledge of self about 20 years ago.
Okay.
One of my best friends, he's a FOI. And, you know, we grew up together. Kind of, you know, when you in high school, then people hit the college phase. They kind of move away from each other. Some people stay where they went to college at.
Right.
So we were separated for some years, and then he came back when I was like 26, I would say. Yeah, 26. And he was, you know, talking that Nation of Islam talk. You know,
talking that God-body talk.
Yeah, never heard it before, really.
Right.
I mean, I was attracted to it immediately. You know.
Are you familiar with the 5 percenters as well?
At the time, no.
Oh, okay.
I wasn't then. I never heard any of the teachers. You know.
Right.
I mean,
which one did you come into contact with first? The 5 percenters or
FOI, Nation of Islam.
Right.
You know, he was at my house and he was, I mean, just dropping it profoundly, man. And I remember just standing up saying, man, I'm teaching this to my children. Right. You know, I'm giving this to my daughters, man. Like, how come I ain't never heard this before? Like, all of our people need to hear this. You know, that was what I was saying. And you know, he just kept coming over my house, building at first. You know, just word of mouth, and then the next, I would say maybe like the third or fourth visit, he brought a lecture by Minister Farrakhan, and it was titled "I Will Be the Winner, Living or Dead."
Yes, sir.
Man, I heard that one, and that was it.
That sealed the deal.
I stood up, and I was like, yo, that's Jesus.
Right.
I said that. I said, yo, that's Jesus. That's him. That's him. Yeah. And, you know, people in the room, they looking at me crazy, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is wrong with this dude? And I'm running around town talking about, Farrakhan's Jesus.
Yeah.
Farrakhan is Jesus. You know, had a lot of my friends fall away from me. You know what I mean? Family talking about this nigga crazy. He talking about Farrakhan Jesus.
Yes, sir.
You know, but yeah, you know, from then on, you know, he just would bring me lectures. He actually, you know, took me out to different places in D.C. Where they had black bookstores. Actually, right before then, I was waiting to do some time. Really. I was waiting to do a little bid. So I went in and did my time, and as I was in there, the mother of my children was sending me. She was Xerox at the time. We didn't have like the technology like we have right now.
Right.
So she was Xerox copy pages from Message to the Black Man.
Okay.
And I was only allowed to get like, you know, like 10 sheets at a time. Like you can't get so many sheets when somebody mails you.
You couldn't get the whole book in.
Yeah, I couldn't get the whole book in, so it was being smuggled in.
Right. Yeah.
And then, you know, you can only get so many pages when
Right.
you're getting letters. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
So
right.
she would send me 10 pages at a time, and sometimes it'd be like 3 chapters.
Did you have
depending
a
on how long.
subscription to the Final Call while you were in there?
They where we was at, they didn't allow that over there.
Oh, wow.
They didn't allow that type of black talk up in there.
Right,
You know,
right.
we was only allowed to read what they had in their libraries, their publications only.
Right.
So it was she did me a big blessing to send me those pages.
Right.
That was really like my first time, like really reading a book.
Right.
You know, before then I couldn't tell you any book that I had read.
I think the first book I read was Message to the Black Man. That might have been my first book that I read with no pictures and no, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So being in the Nation of Islam, like, and, you know, knowing 5%ers, and, you know, I know we always online, and, you know, they always got, you know, the FOI brothers going back and forth with the brothers, you know, some of the 5%ers.
Yes, sir.
You know, what do you see, like, as, like, just differences with the two groups as far as the doctrine and just the whole cultural practice of Islam?
Good question. So, what I see in the difference is, like, at one time, so my first encounter with a 5%er was when I was locked up.
Right.
And it wasn't a good one.
Okay.
Oh man, like he at first it was all good. We was building. I thought it was like we was like minded. Then out of nowhere he was like, "Man, fuck Elijah Muhammad." I said, "What the hell is you talking about? Like this is where it all came from." He's like,
not Farrakhan, but Elijah.
For Elijah, you know what I'm saying? And then,
I've never heard that one before,
you know,
from a 5%er.
He started saying, you know, how he run with Clarence, you know, 13X and Father Allah, and you know, I had never heard that before. I didn't even know what I was experiencing.
Right.
No one was there to like really break that down and explain to me the splintering or the, you know, how we're related, any of that. You know what I'm saying?
You was almost like, you know, I thought about when you said that. Temple number 7, Minister Hafiz, you know, R.I.P. Minister Hafiz. You know, you didn't know what was going on, and you just
I didn't know nothing.
Talking, not knowing.
I ain't know nothing.
Somebody gonna jump up and, you know,
I ain't know nothing, man.
Strongly disagree.
Yes,
you know?
I was just babbling off at the mouth like a baby, you know. But the things he was saying, I was familiar with. You know what I'm saying? He was saying stuff about Yaqub. You know, he was saying stuff about, you know, the black man is God. You know, he was saying, you know, the supreme, what is it, the actual facts. You know, and I knew that as the language of Elijah Muhammad. So, like, for him to say, like, it was like something different, I was like, this is the same. I don't know what you're saying, you know. So, as time went on, I met others that I had a much better experience with, you know, and you know, I was able to learn the history of, you know, who Clarence 13X, aka Father Allah, is or was, and you know his role in the foundation of them, you know, and then how, you know, out of the 5% nation, the gods and earths came, you know, from that, you know what I'm saying, and you know. But I was sheltered, you could say, or shielded by the FOI, and I'm grateful for that. You know what I'm saying? The way that they just he created a shield over my mind. You know what I'm saying? I couldn't be corrupted with false ideas and false teachings. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, the difference that I see is that. And it attracted me, the 5%ers, that they had it off cap. They could spit the lessons so verbatim, you know what I'm saying? Like, and with no hiccups, you know what I'm saying? I mean, you see some that might have memorized it differently than the other, but still that attraction was there, that they could memorize the lessons. But I saw that it was kind of like how you have, like, say a Christian will say, like, oh, the teachings, the scriptures are up for interpretation. You have Christians be doing that. He'll say this thing and he'll say that thing. They saying it from the same thing, but they saying it don't match up. It's not aligning. You know what I mean? So that kind of had me always like, I kind of a little side eye, like, you know, y'all supposed to be from the same place, but y'all saying two different things. You saying they mean this, and he's saying they mean that. You know what I'm saying? So that was something that I noticed that kind of had me like side eye, you know.
What do you think was one of the main, I guess, controversies that the two groups had, you know?
Amongst themselves?
Amongst, you know, well,
against the FOI?
Yeah, 5% in Nation of Islam or FOI. Like,
so before I say that, the other the difference that I saw with the FOI, because you asked me what's the differences, right? So I felt that the FOI seemed to be like, I saw like a transformation with them. You know what I'm saying? Like it would be a brother that I seen, and he was walking one way, but then when he grabbed the teachings, it was like he was cleaned up. Totally. You know what I'm saying? He not doing nigga shit no more. He's still claiming to be, excuse my language,
righteous. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's what I noticed with the 5%. You know what I mean? You know, they got the teachings, but they still, you know, snorting coke. You know, doing the
establishment,
you know,
niggerism
in the name of Allah. You know what I'm saying? So that's the difference of what I noticed between the two. You know, what was the other the question that you had just asked me?
Like the two groups knowing their doctrine now, or kind of like what they teach, and of course being in the Nation of Islam and knowing what the nation teaches. What do you think was one of the biggest? You know, because every time the two bump heads, it's always like a debate or like, oh, well, no, that's not right. That's not. What do you think was one of the main?
One of the main things that I saw and still see is this discrepancy that, oh, you guys are Muslims, or you guys practice religion.
So you can't be God.
And yeah, we don't do that. We don't practice religion. You know what I'm saying? We're not Muslim. And I'm like, I don't understand that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said Islam is not a religion. He said it's our nature. The Quran says that. You know what I mean?
That's right.
We definitely know that there are people that practice these things as a religion. They still spooky. They still, you know, coming out of the spookiness. You know, for me, I understand that this is a process. You know what I mean? And once we awake, we've been living like devils for so long that we're still doing devilishment in different ways. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it took me a minute to put down the weed smoke. You know what I mean? But I stopped womanizing. You know what I'm saying? It took me a little bit to stop womanizing, but I did it much faster than putting down the weed smoke. You know what I'm saying? I immediately stopped eating pig.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
I think that's like the first thing, you know, to stop doing is eating the pig,
you know?
and you know.
So you see a lot of
and that was one of the things too that I seen, that, you know, one of the main arguments, you know, once you join the mosque or even start studying with the brothers in the mosque, y'all ain't God, you know. So yeah,
I mean, and I don't know how a person could tell you that you're not God when you understand that God simply means force and power. You know what I mean? And when we understand what force and power is, we all are a force. We all are atoms, the highest form of atom. You know what I mean? And we all manifest that power and energy based on what we know and how we know it. You know what I'm saying? There's always a best knower amongst us, no matter what it is. You know what I'm saying? You could be sitting in the room and, you know, your water pipes burst. You know what I'm saying? The plumber amongst you is the best knower. And we got to submit to what the plumber is going to do to make sure the pipes stop leaking, you know what I'm saying, and get fixed the right way. I can't come over there and say he not God. He can't fix that because you know he's with the NOI. You know what I'm saying? It's
an issue to be fixed, and he's the only one right now that pretty much knows how to
he knows how to do it. So you know, knowledge is power. You know what I'm saying? And you know, based on what you know is what's going to show. Based on what you know and how you apply what you know, it's going to show your level of godhood or understanding of how to be the savior. You know what I'm saying? Because he saved us from stopping that leak. You know, the whole house is about to be flooded You know what I'm saying? And he saved us.
Right.
Oh, no, you got to save yourself, B. You got to save yourself, B.
Yeah.
But you're not a plumber, B.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
It was a saying that they used to say, the more you know, the more you grow.
Right.
But that's not always true in a sense, because the more you know, you could be knowing things that don't in fact help you in your growth and development. But you hit it key on the head. The more you know and apply, the more you grow.
Right. You got to know how to apply what you're talking about.
Right, and that comes back to what you was just saying about the discipline. You know, where you didn't see among the gods and earths, but you seen it among the FOI and the M.G.T.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Speaking of, you know, in the mosque, you know, recently, I believe it was over the weekend, Minister Ishmael Muhammad made an assertion, and he said that you know, and it was dealing with prayer.
Yes, sir.
And you let me hear the other part of it,
the
where he
correction.
the correction part, where he mentioned, you know, Allah came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, but Elijah Muhammad didn't teach us to pray to Allah.
Yes, he was having an argument not an argument, but he had a meeting with the followers of Warthi Muhammad.
Right.
And they had issue. They was in there like mean mugging, so to speak.
Right.
And he tried to address them, and in so he made a mistake, or he spoke incorrectly by stating that, you know, Elijah Muhammad never taught us to pray to Master Fard Muhammad or worship him. Right. So he came back and he corrected that. That the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad did teach us to pray to Master Fard Muhammad and we worship him.
Right. How would you break that down now to someone who would just be like, oh man, you know, y'all worshiping a spook, or y'all praying to a man. He's just a man just like you, or, you know, how would you deal with a topic like that? You know, like, I guess first we would have to establish what is prayer.
That's right.
You know, before we segue into that
bill.
But what is prayer? Well, you know.
So, you know, you and I just listened to a beautiful display or segment from Dr. Khalid Muhammad.
Yes, sir.
And he was talking about how prayer is focus. It's communication.
Right.
It's communion. And, you know, understanding that what energy is, right? If we understand what knowledge is, we understand that knowledge is power.
Right.
And, you know, when you're praying, you are definitely focusing on an idea, right? So, you know, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that will you sit and pray to a mystery God to bring you food? Emphatically, no, right?
Right.
So what is he implying? You know what I'm saying? Because if you're hungry and you are praying for food, that means that you're thinking. Right? That means that your prayer is a thought.
Right.
It's some type of a signal, right, that goes out, you know what I'm saying, or that you take in, you know what I'm saying? Because it's like if you picture if you just picture everything, it's just like, you ever see like cartoons and you see like electricity, like
yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? Or like, remember that Mortal Kombat character Raiden?
Yeah,
electricity, you know what I'm saying? So you got electricity going out everywhere, right?
Right.
And then we're like antennas, and we can pick up, you know, these electrical currents. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
You know, and you could bounce something out.
Melanin allows us to do that. Yes, sir.
Right. So you throw something out here, just me talking to you, and I pick it up. You know what I'm saying? Well, shoot, bro. You know, Golden Crust is down the street, right? I'm gonna go to Golden Crust and get me something to eat. Right. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna sit here and pray for it.
Right. To pop into
my hands. Like I have to think on it and do something to make it happen. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So, you know, that's how our prayer works. Yes, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's you know, knowledge is power. So we're talking about energy. We're talking about sparks. We're talking about something that ignites you. Right. You know what I'm saying? Right. So you know that focus that we're focusing on these ideas that this supreme one that appeared amongst us, right? And the ideas that he laid down is what we focus on. Right. And when we focus on those ideas and we take in those ideas, we can also fall in line with
the will.
With the will that he did. It's his will, right?
Yes,
so,
sir.
We understand that, the scientists tuned into the thinking of the people and saw in advance.
Right.
You know what I mean? This means that they playing chess.
Right.
And they making moves, right? He already knew that me and you was gonna be sitting here right here today, somehow, some way. You know what I'm saying? And we was gonna fall in line with the will that he had already laid down for us. You know what I'm saying? So these are moves that he saw way in advance. You know what I'm saying? And he already knew what was going to happen, how it was going to happen, and we're either going to fall in line with that,
or stray,
or we're not. You know what I'm saying? And that's all based on tuning into the thinking. You know what I'm saying? So if you're out of tune, right, with the thinking, if you're not eating if you don't know how to eat to live, you're out of tune on how to save your life.
Right. How to take care of yourself.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So you're going to die.
Right.
Because you're out of tune. But if you tune into that, that thinking, that energy, that power,
you get life and
you get life and more abundantly, and you get to walk along that path that's already been laid out for you before you was even born.
Yeah. I heard Minister Farrakhan say once, and it was a whole bunch of, back and forth about it. The minister made a statement one time. He said, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that Master Fard Muhammad prayed.
Yes.
And he said that Master Fard Muhammad, the question was like, well, who was he praying to? And the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan said, well, he was praying to the originator, And a few people had discrepancies with that. And when I say a few people, I'm not talking about, I'm talking about students of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad, just in other schools of thought. You got Silence, you got Royal Solomon, you got,
in the house as well.
Right, you know what I'm saying?
In the house.
Right. So they said, well, the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said that we don't have no God on record of living past 1,000 years. So the Creator can't be around today or during the time of Master Fard Muhammad. So why is Master Fard Muhammad praying to the Creator when the messenger said, when you die and your body go down into the grave, though, that brain you got goes down there too. Those ears you got go down. So that person can't answer no prayer for you, and it was going back and forth, but then someone kind of cleared it up, because in the original quote, I believe it was that Master Fard Muhammad prayed to the originator for, the inspiration.
Right. He had to feed off of what he already laid down.
And not really so much asking the Creator for that, because again, the Creator's dead and gone. But the mathematical equations or the mathematics that was left behind, that the originator left, we focus and we study that.
It's like a
basically
plan. It's like a plan that's laid out, right?
Yeah.
And you and I can, so we understand that Master Fard Muhammad was called into existence from the originator.
Right.
The originator is a man.
Right.
He had to reproduce himself. Right. So if he reproduced himself, he made a plan that went and went and went and went and went and went until somebody, one of his seeds, manifested his plan. You know what I'm saying? So, there's something that I want to build, and it might take 4 generations. I might not live to, I ain't going to live to see that. Right? So I reproduce myself and my son. Right? And then I lay out the plan for my son. And then he has to follow this plan to a T. And then he has a son. And he puts it in his son. And then so on and so forth.
It's
and they get to the plan. You know what I'm saying? So that's how the gods carry these plans out. That's what's taught to us. They look down the line of fruition and they tune into the thinking of a people. And because of what they're thinking, you can see what they're producing. You know what I'm saying? And there's one God that has the power to change all that. If he don't like what they're doing, he can put something down and change all that. That's how powerful he is.
Yes, sir. That's a good teaching.
He's independent of them.
Right. Yes, sir. Yeah, because I remember reading something like that where the messenger said that, like, Master Fard Muhammad could, he can change. He has the power to, because he was the first God, in that line of gods that was really taught, studied with all of them.
Right.
Because I think the
He
messenger
had the
said
power of all of them.
the 12 major scientists, the 12 minor scientists, their knowledge, they never convene and build like that. But he was able to gain pieces of wisdom from all of them.
It was like they were compartmentalized.
Right,
like this one had his, this one had his, this one had his.
Right.
But Master Fard Muhammad had it all.
Right.
And then some. They said his light was so bright that they put the pins down.
Right. They couldn't see farther
beyond.
or past his light. True indeed.
Because he's the one that they said all praises will be due forever.
Right.
Not that another one is going to come later.
Right.
And do something else.
Right. To that point right there, you just brought me to another point. Okay, we say Allah came in the person of Master Fard Muhammad, to whom praises are due forever. Now, again, when we looking at that word prayer or praise or reverence or worship, at some point, Master Fard Muhammad is going to go back down in the ground, from whence, man
this physical
returns.
body.
Right. Is praise still due to Master Fard Muhammad even after
Yes,
that
because
individual?
the idea is still alive. The idea is there.
So again, we get the inspiration.
And it's there. It's never and whoever
it
digests it
and feeds
will
off
be
of
able
that.
to manifest whoever digests it the best.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he said he came to make us all into gods.
Right.
You know what I mean? All of us.
Right.
But we all gonna be upon his will though. You know what I'm saying? Don't let your ego take y'all away now. Thinking that, well, he came to make me into him, so I'm his equal. You're not his equal because you're feeding off of what he gave you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now, unless you can produce something greater and hey, we have to submit to that. But we're feeding off of what he brought.
Good teaching.
He changed our reality.
Yeah.
He's the one that has the power to deliver this death blow to Satan's world.
Right.
He's the one that all of the prophets prophesied of.
Right. The way I always teach it too, and that's you right and exact, but the way I always teach it too is like the name Father, Muhammad, I always teach it as a I always teach it basically as like his attribute is basically like almost became our attribute in a sense. Almost like how, to give you an example, like how Muslims, the Sunni Muslims make Hajj over to Mecca, and after they make their Hajj, now you've made the Hajj, you've made the pilgrimage, so you can attach, Il-Hajj
that attribute
onto your name, as Malcolm X did, after he made his Hajj, now he's Il-Hajj, so kind of like the same thing with Master Fard Muhammad. You kind of, from drawing from that inspiration and that, energy, force, and power that he had, you now can become a Fard Muhammad in your own right. You know what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
Yeah, he came to make us into himself.
Right.
He came to make us all into gods.
Right. And then the messenger, I think, stated that once. In the
Every
1960s.
time you look in the mirror, you're looking at God.
Right, you look at God. But it was another Savior's Day. I think it was 1964 Savior's Day, where the messenger said, I believe it was in New Jersey, where he made the proclamation. He said, Allah has made me equal to him in knowledge and wisdom, and I have control over the
I wouldn't say equal
winds,
to
the seas.
I wouldn't say equal to him, but I think he gave him the power, but he gave him the power over everything except for him. Him.
Right.
So that kind of
was it equal? I have to look at that quote again.
Keeps him,
Right, balanced out.
Right.
Yeah, true indeed. I can't remember if the messenger used the word. I have to look at the quote again.
Yeah, I don't
but
recall
he was just saying that he's now given me power over the winds,
he made
the
me into
seas,
himself.
and made me into himself.
That's right.
And as a matter of fact, he said he's made me equal in knowledge with him. Right. But of course, he's still under, as you mentioned, because he's the one who brought him
had to
forth.
feed from him.
Right, exactly.
That's my father. He made me.
Right.
He didn't. I didn't birth him. He birthed me.
Birthed me. You know what I'm saying?
Your son ain't equal to you.
Right.
Your biological child ain't equal to you. You made him.
And then another point with that also is, we feed off of him and gain from him or draw from him. So this makes us, I guess you could say, his like alike or
his children.
Right, his children. Right.
So it keeps it keeps the respect in place. It keeps us in balance. That's why I said, your son is not equal to you.
Right.
You gave birth to your son.
Right.
Your son didn't give birth to you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? The son can become the father, but he ain't my father.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Right. I'm always gonna be his father.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
the one who projected the knowledge out there for him to learn and grow with.
Like you came from my sack.
Right.
Anybody, just keep it in street terms, you know what I'm saying? Like you came from me, you know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
I didn't come from you, you know
Yes,
what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And you're just not equal to me, son.
Yes,
You're
sir.
always my
Yes,
son.
Yes,
You know what I'm saying? Son. No matter
Yeah.
how old you grow with gray, losing your hair,
Right.
I'm still your daddy.
Right,
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Yes,
there's
sir.
that reverence there. That praise.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
and it's
crazy. I have
almost,
to give you that respect and reverence at all times.
Right. And it's crazy, just as we close too, I was just going to say, with the 5 percenters, the way the father is reverenced and talked about and praised and stuff, like you would think, brothers would understand,
the lineage.
Because it's similar. You know what I'm saying? That's the spiritual
it's
father.
Exactly what it is.
Yeah,
it ain't nothing. It ain't similar. It's exactly what it is.
And the way you broke it down just now, that shows that it's really the same thing. Like, why are you having such a hard time understanding prayer when it even says that in our lessons? I fast and pray. That we'll bring the devil into hell in the very near future.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So, but yeah, brother, definitely, man, we definitely got to get back together again and build.
Yes, sir.
I love these, these supreme wisdom, high science bills, with the brothers, man.
We've been planning for this for a minute.
Yeah.
Finally
I love to get with the Muslim gods.
You've been doing, hey, man, salute to you and how you've been getting with the brothers out there. I haven't seen you get with no sisters yet. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It would be good to link up with some of these sisters that got that divine knowledge. I know it's a couple of Earth, 5% Nation, little sister Ava Muhammad's out there. You know what I'm saying? They be dropping it and not even just dropping it, they manifesting it. You can see in their daily lives the way they living. You know what I'm saying? And it would be good to hear some of these baby Sherazad Ali's. You know what I'm saying? That have something to give us. You know what I mean? Because they could teach us too.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Definitely. It was the first teacher of a nation.
Yes,
the black woman.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I was saying to you that you and Brother Wakil do a good job in reaching, the masses. You know what I'm saying? And I think that y'all could utilize your power even greater. You know what I'm saying? By going out there and